Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, let's dive into some really interesting and potentially game-changing news that's been buzzing around the NFL, especially for us Bears fans who are always eager to see the team strengthen its roster and make a real push towards the playoffs, maybe even a Super Bowl. We all know that the NFC North has been a competitive division for years, with teams like the Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, and Detroit Lions all fighting fiercely for supremacy. But what's catching everyone's attention right now is the possibility of a blockbuster trade involving one of the league's most dominant pass rushers, Trey Hendrickson from the Cincinnati Bengals. And this could have huge implications for the Bears, who are looking to bolster their defensive front in a big way. Now, let's set the stage here. Hendrickson, for those of you who may not be fully aware, is an absolute force on the edge. He's been a Pro Bowler every year since he joined Cincinnati and has amassed a staggering 57 sacks since 2021. That's third most in the entire league over that span, which just tells you how disruptive he's been over the past few seasons. The guy is a premier pass rusher, and despite being 31 years old, he still plays at a very high level. His production, his presence on the field, it's exactly what a team like the Bears could desperately use as they look to develop a more aggressive and unpredictable pass rush under defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. But here's the catch. Despite his incredible production, Hendrickson is embroiled in a prolonged contract standoff with the Bengals, particularly over guaranteed money, even after back-to-back seasons with 17. 5 sacks, his team and his agent have yet to come to terms, and that's left the door wide open for a possible trade. Now, why would Cincinnati consider trading such a key player? Well, it's all about the financials. The Bengals reportedly want impactful defensive players in return for Hendrickson, and that's where the Bears could come into play. In fact, some analysts and insiders are already speculating about what a trade package might look like. According to Vincent Perez from Bears Wire, there's a serious possibility that the Bears could send over safety Jaquan Brisker, along with DE Austin Booker, and a second-round pick to Cincinnati in exchange for Hendrickson. Now, Perez points out that this makes some sense from Chicago's perspective because the Bengals are seeking impact players, and while Brisker is a young, promising safety, one of the best assets the Bears have, there's a real debate about whether losing him would be a significant blow or if the Bears can compensate elsewhere. You see, Brisker, at just 26 years old, has already established himself as a key part of Chicago's secondary. He's a tone-setter on defense, someone who can make plays all over the field and provide that fiery leadership the Bears need. But there's a caveat. Brisker has a concerning history with concussions, missing 16 games over his 3 seasons due to head injuries. That's a serious concern for any team, especially one like Cincinnati, where durability is critical. And Perez suggests that the Bears might be willing to part with Brisker if it means acquiring Hendrickson, along with a second-round pick, which could be a worthwhile gamble if Hendrickson's health and production hold up. Now, I want to pause here for a second. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Chicago Bears news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. But hold on a moment. While this trade scenario sounds tempting, especially considering Hendrickson's elite production, it's not just about the stats. It's about what he brings to the team in terms of leadership, experience, and that game-changing presence on the edge. Remember, Hendrickson has been a key player in Cincinnati's defense, and losing him would be a significant shift for that team. For the Bears, though, it could be a real game-changer. Imagine adding a player like him to a defensive line that already features Montez Sweat and Dayo Odeyingbo. That's a trio that could strike fear into any quarterback in the league. And let's not forget, Sweat made headlines early this offseason by attending OTAs, something he rarely does, showing how eager he is to get a head start in Coach Allen's complex defense. Sweat, who had a quieter 2024 season, looks rejuvenated in camp this year, and there's a genuine buzz about him potentially having a much better year in 2025. If he can stay healthy and continue to develop under Allen's guidance, he could become a true force on the edge. Odhiambo, despite recording just 3 sacks in 2024, is another player who could potentially take a big step forward this season. With the right coaching and development, he might even push for double-digit sacks, which would be a huge boost for the Chicago pass rush. This is what excites fans, thinking about how the Bears' defense could look with Hendrickson added to the mix. It's about that extra attitude, that relentless pressure on the quarterback, that can turn close games into blowouts and elevate the whole team's confidence. But of course, acquiring a player of Hendrickson's caliber isn't cheap or easy. Few teams would be willing to give up 2 young players, like Brisker and Booker, and a second-round pick for a 31-year-old pass rusher, even if he's among the best in the league. But if the Bears see the opportunity to make a substantial leap forward, they might consider it. Now, for a moment, let's look at the bigger picture. When we talk about the Bears' current roster, it's clear they're building something special. They've invested heavily in their defense, bringing in players like Montez Sweat and Dayo Odhiambo, and now they're looking for that extra piece to push them over the top. The addition of Hendrickson could serve as that catalyst, especially with his ability to generate pressure and disrupt the backfield. The Bears' coaching staff, especially defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, is known for designing aggressive schemes that can maximize the talents of players like Hendrickson and Sweat. And let's not forget, the Bears' recent draft picks and roster moves indicate they're in a serious rebuild mode. They're not just aiming to be competitive, they want to be contenders again. So, a trade that brings in a player like Hendrickson, even at the cost of some future assets, might be a gamble worth taking. It's about timing, about seizing the moment when your team is on the cusp of something big. Of course, there are always risks. The injury history of Brisker can't be ignored, and giving up draft capital is always a gamble. But when you have a chance to add a player who has been among the league's best in sacks over the past few seasons, it's a risk worth considering. Plus, Hendrickson's leadership and professionalism can't be quantified easily, but they're invaluable in a locker room looking to establish a winning culture. As we look ahead to the upcoming season, the Bears are definitely making a statement. They're pushing the boundaries, exploring bold moves, and showing that they're not content with just being marginal contenders. They want to be frontrunners. The potential trade involving Hendrickson could be a pivotal moment for this team. It's about adding that extra edge, literally and figuratively, that could help them challenge the Vikings and Lions in the NFC North and make some serious noise in the playoffs. And that's what makes this story so compelling for us, Bears fans. We've been waiting for a moment like this, where the team makes a bold move to elevate itself. We want to see that relentless attitude on defense, that hunger to dominate every game, and if bringing in a player like Hendrickson can do that, then it's something we should be rooting for. So, as we keep watching how this situation unfolds, one thing's clear: Chicago is not standing still. They're exploring every avenue to improve, to get better, and to position themselves as serious contenders. And for us fans, that's the kind of excitement we crave. The possibility of a trade that could reshape the defense, ignite the passion of the team, and perhaps finally bring that Super Bowl trophy back to Chicago. That's what it's all about. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news. Thanks for being here, and let's keep the passion alive.